Welcome back to the Paddy Power Sports Network. Let's talk Sunday NBA basketball. I'm Pat Williams. He's Kenny White. Kenny, it's one game, it's one series, but as we know, the first game, very important in the NBA playoffs.
There's no doubt about it. You want to get off on the right foot, but, you know, the Miami Heat kind of remind me of a heavyweight boxer that lets his guard down every now and then he gets punched and he gets hit, and he's like, oh, I better fight, and he starts to fight, and then he's the big favorite, and he ends up knocking out the opponent. They're not the type of team that just goes all out and crushes the opponent.
So, Miami right here at Paddy Power, a 2-point road favorite. Kenny, the total, 181. Let's specifically talk about this total because these two teams met 4 times in the regular season. Both games in Indiana only yielded 167 and 174 combined points.
Well, Indiana's calling card is their defense. They are number 1 in the NBA in effective field goal percentage, number 1 in field goal percentage allowed. They're number 2 in defensive rebounding. They don't allow their opponents second shots, and that's why they were so successful. At home, they've been a much better under team, except for the playoffs, completely opposite. They've been over at home, under on the road. They still are an under basketball team, and these two teams do not like each other. Miami turned up their defense the last month of the season to get ready for the playoffs. They didn't show it in the first 2 playoff series. They really didn't need it. They're going to need it against Indiana.
All right, Roy Hibbert, we've heard about him. He plays well sometimes, but he's 7'2". It's imperative for Indiana in this series that he show up in both games against the Heat at home. Roy Hibbert, 22.5 points, 4.5 rebounds.
Yeah, no, he had some really nice games against Miami, except for the last game where Miami won by 12 was the biggest differential of any of the 4 games. He had 5 points, 1 rebound. So you hit it the nail right on the head. Roy Hibbert has to play well in this series.
All right, the Miami Heat minus $3 for the series price. Any value on Miami Heat for the series?
No, I think they should be 4-1 in the series. I think they're if they played 5 series, Miami's going to win 4 of the 5 series. So Indiana's got a shot 1 time out of every 5.
All right, so the game, we're talking about this game, game 1 in Indiana. The Miami Heat, -2, 181 is the total. Kenny White, who do you like?
Well, you know, Indiana's gone through this emotional second half of the season, but they've persevered here, and at least they've come through in 2 series, beating Atlanta in a tough series, beating Washington in a tough series, teams that are not very good, but they know what they're up against here, and I said, Miami reminds me of that heavyweight fighter that lowers his guard. I think they lower their guard the first game. I think Indiana can win game 1.
All right, let's briefly touch on the Monday Western Conference Final. Here we go. Oklahoma City taking on San Antonio. When all the dust clears, these are the 2 obvious best teams in the West, maybe the 2 best teams in the entire NBA.
Well, I think in the NBA, the Final Four we have right now, I think these 4 were predicted. This was the most common Final Four we could possibly get. San Antonio lost all 4 to Oklahoma City during the regular season. They are a playoff team. They're deep. There's injuries. Ibaka hurt his calf game 3. They're going to need Ibaka in the lineup. If he's not there and not able to perform up to his task, San Antonio is going to get revenge for the 4 regular season losses in game 1.
All right, so the series price, let's close with this. San Antonio minus $1.75, Oklahoma City plus 125.
I like San Antonio in the series as well. I think game 1 is a cheap price at 4.5. That series' price is calculated on that. I think game 1, San Antonio should be 6, 6.5, and that would make that series price over $2. So I like the Spurs in game 1 and the series.
Great stuff, as always, from Kenny White. Good luck on all of your betting. The NBA playoffs. We'll see you right back here on the Paddy Power Sports Network.